have a chapter on liberty, and I'll tell you what's interesting. John Stuart Mill is considered the great libertarian when it comes to liberty. He wrote a book called On Liberty. He goes on about liberty, what it is, pretty good definitions. And then at the very end, he says, but you need law. You need these things in order to make a determination on what kind of liberty you're going to have. So in other words, as an example, I have liberty. But does that mean I can prevent somebody else from having liberty? Yes, I can. So who's going to make a decision on how we control that? Who's going to make a decision on what liberty is okay? These are complicated words, complicated terms, much more than people think. I looked at Aristotle, who talks about liberty, but never really defines it. I look at John Stuart Mill. At the very end of the book, he finally says, well, you need some kind of order. You need some kind of law. You need something. I think even most libertarians would agree with it. But then the question is, what? And he doesn't tell us. You have Samuel Adams, one of the leaders, one of the earliest leaders of the American Revolution, writes a long essay on liberty and mentions it many times. And then you're finished, you say, okay, but he doesn't define liberty. Jefferson does probably the best job at defining liberty. But I conclude in the book, liberty is one of those words that is defined by what it's not rather than what it is.